Good morning, everybody. How are you all doing, feeling today? I hope you're good. I hope you're very good. I'm racing against weather time today. As mentioned in that tour video, we've got some pretty grotty weather moving in. It looks like a fortnight. Fortnight. I read something online the other day, and I can't remember which country the person was from. They weren't British. And they said, what's a fortnight? Why do people keep saying fortnight? How is that a measure of time? So, hang on, let me stand up. If you don't know, a fortnight is 2 weeks. So yeah, we've got this fortnight of rain, pretty non-stop. I think, I checked the forecast again this morning, it looks like in about 6 or 7 days or so we've got another 4-hour window, so I'll use that to do the squash harvest. So because we've got all this rain coming, I'm just frantically trying to get all my dry stuff. So obviously I'm starting in the beans. I'll come this side, I'll come the other side. Invariably I will probably miss a few. It's always the way, isn't it? But then when I come to take the poles down in a couple of weeks, when I come to do my crop and drop, if I find any, then rescue them. I've got a mixture of beans on these 2 lot of canes. It started off very specifically divided, but then I had some losses to slugs. I had a couple of non-germinators, so I bunged the holes. So I know that I've got gigantis, which are the gorgeous big Greek bean. One of my favourite beans, second favourite only to Coco de Paimpol. The reason I love the gigantis bean is, it is really huge, is it can take a long slow cook and still keep its bite. It doesn't disintegrate like, say, regular butter beans. You know how they just disintegrate, don't they? It's rather like, if you think about a long slow cook with potatoes, if you've got a floury potato, it just disintegrates, whereas a waxy potato kind of holds its form, holds its bite. That's like the gigantes as opposed to butter bean. So they're a real old mixture. I'm just collecting them in my good old trug. I've got a bin liner in there. This bin liner is on its last legs because it goes backwards and forwards to the garden all the time. They're going into the bin liner purely because then I'll pull the bin liner out and stuff it straight into the granny trolley. So, come on, you need to move up. Chop, chop. We haven't got all day. We really haven't got all day. Are you all right there? Yeah, with this. There have been a couple of spits and spots already. So they're all just going in the same bag, complete mix. But they're all such different beans that as soon as I pod them, I'll know exactly what they are. So the big white gigantes, the beautiful black, or the black Churchill, which are a type of runner bean. Then good old, very, very, very boring runner beans, Scarlet Emperor. So, because there's probably, I think there's quite a lot of moisture in the air today. They're kind of on the other side, but I couldn't resist. Yeah, because there's quite a lot of moisture in the air today, what I'll do when I get these home, if I've got time to pod them today, I will. If I haven't, I'm just going to tip this bag out onto some sheets of newspaper, still in their pods. And then within the next couple of days or so, I'll get them podded. This is all about storing things dry. So let's remove any moisture. Just dropped it. Yeah, let's remove any moisture pronto. Okay, so I'm nearly at the end of this row. I'll go around the other side. I've got the other double row behind me. There's hardly anything left. And then I've got the little obelisk, so I'll carry on and do this lot and show you what I manage after my pick, and then we'll move on to the next pick. Oh, spitting again. Hurry, hurry, hurry. Right, nearly done. Now what's remarkable on the other double row, there was a much bigger pick. There are still some which are fleshy and green. Well, they're not green, they're dark purple. It's the Churchill black. They're still fleshy. So I'm just going to leave them for now. The thing is, it's been a great year for beans because we've had so much rain in July, and they really, really appreciate being kept well watered. Is that my lot? I think so. Okay, so yeah, I'm pleased with that. Yay! That's nice for a sort of a very last pick of the year. So far I've had about 15 pounds of beans picked and stored. That's 7.5 kilos. That's fab, mostly dry, but I did do quite a lot of cocoa de Pampol demi-sec because they are so good. Whew, excuse me, from demi-sec. For those who don't know what I'm talking about with demi-sec, I'll put a card on the end of this video that I made last week or so, a couple of weeks ago, all about beans and storing them. And I think I've just seen a couple I've missed, so because it's spitting again, and oh my goodness, and more. It's the low down ones. I always think what a great advantage being tall when it comes to bean picking, but then I miss the ones at my feet. Right, I think though I'm going to have to put you away for a minute while this spitting continues. I'm going to grab that last couple and quickly get these in the shed. That's the avenue. Oh, muddy. Just gathering the last of my courgette. The foliage and slug halos can stay put for now. I'll chop it all up, not the halos, another day after I've done all the pressing stuff today. Cool whopper. Eight bowls of soup. Now, that one. Oh, la, la. Oh. Right. Oh. Sorry, I don't know if you heard any of that. I'm just saying that the foliage I will chop. I'll do my crop and drop at a later point when I'm not racing against the rain today, and then I can get all the halos out, the slug prevention halos, and give them back to the girls. Now, cucumber seed saving. Let me step in. I selected two. This is one of them. The other one has already rotted on the bed. So maybe some self-seeded cucumbers next year. I'll go through this seed saving at home, but essentially I want to leave the cuc as long as possible so it's as ripe as possible so that the seeds inside are as mature as possible. And in fact, I think I am going to grab this other one. Yeah. starting to rot. You see, look, it's starting to rot, but that means it's absolutely ripe. And in nature, what it wants to do is get really, 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 really ripe, rot, release its seeds, plants grow again. So this actually might be even better seeds. It doesn't look much as a fruit, does it? It did look normal, but yeah, started to rot. I'll have it anyway, because like I said, I think that'll be really mature seeds. Okay, what's next? I know, I need a little bag. Just while I'm here today, something I don't normally do, but in consideration of, oh, that one fell off, in consideration of the fact that we are going to get so much rain in the next fortnight, I'm just going to lift all my squash off the mud. Like I said, I don't normally bother, and I've never had issues in the past, but you know, for the last few years, over the last few years, we've had really quite dry autumn, so it hasn't been an issue. That's a handy one, it's got a hollow, it can just sit on there. I know there are folk who always lift their squash up and put them on, you know, a tile or an upturned seed tray, what have you, get them off the floor. But yeah, like I said, I've never bothered. It's never been an issue, but I don't know, am I being paranoid? Just with so much rain coming, and I don't want to lose them now after all this growing, so I might as well. I'm here. Look, it's taken a couple of minutes. There's a few more to do, which I'll get on with, and then go and grab that bag from the shed for the next harvest. Phooey. This rain, well, the rain's coming down now. Obviously I can't take the camera out when it's coming down like this, which is a shame, because I wanted to talk through something specifically about the calendula bed. It's not supposed to be like this for at least another 2.5 hours. What's the time now? Yeah. I've come on purpose, for me, quite early. I normally get down here for about 12 noon and leave by about sort of anywhere between 4 and 6. Obviously dusk is getting earlier now, so it's probably by 5. Anyway, I came earlier on purpose because the forecast said rain from 2 o'clock and heavy, and then that's it for this fortnight, 2 weeks. Will it clear up? It's always that thing, isn't it? Humming and hawing. Do I stay in the shed for a bit, wait it out? Do I carry on? I mean, I can go and sit in the rain and harvest. Of course I can. It's just that I won't be able to take you with me. And I really wanted to today. And also, so the thing with harvesting all this dry stuff today. So my next job was the calendula bed. 2 harvests. I might as well just tell you, because I don't think we're going to get out there, or at least not we together, just me on my own. I want to harvest seed, and I want to harvest the flower heads. So back at I think it was probably end of August, I decided on a 1 metre square-ish patch that I wouldn't do any more harvesting from for the flowers. That whole end, that would be my seed saving, because actually they were the first to come up. They were really strong, good plants. I thought, yeah, they're perfect. It's really chucking down. They're perfect for my seed saving. So I haven't touched the end of the bed since about so it's like 2 months or so. So that seed is really ripe, it's really ready. Now ideally, I want to harvest that on a dry day. We want our seed to be dry, because otherwise it's going to get mouldy, it's going to rot, what have you. Worst case scenario, although it's the least of the options. Well, I suppose the least of the options would be that I just leave it. I just leave it for another fortnight. It's going to get rained on, but then we'll have a period of dry weather, quite a lot of wind. That should dry them out. That's a bit risky. I don't know that I want to do that. Or I harvest them today, but obviously they're going to be wet because it's raining. And then make sure I process them straight. Well, not the final process, but get them home and immediately, that's what I wanted my little bag for, rather than, I wouldn't harvest in a basket because they're so ripe that as I pick them they're going to disintegrate and seeds going to fly everywhere. So I want one of my paper bags so that I don't lose any. So what I would do is pluck all their heads off, and at this stage I would simply, I don't bother snipping the stem. I'll talk about that with the flowers as well in a second, but just sort of like a little grabbing machine, put my fingers right around the head, sort of cupping with my hand as well, pull it, immediately turn my hand over, because just pulling it off like that is going to break that seed head open in my hand, upside down, chuck it into the paper bag, get them home and immediately get them all spread out on trays. Or because it's this time of year, I'm starting to run out of trays and I've got some big wide bowls. If I've run out of that, they'll literally just go on a couple of sheets of newspaper spread out, just sit on the floor somewhere. The last thing I'd be doing is leaving them in the bag when they're a bit moist, because they're going to sweat and get, oh, Rosie's come for a cuddle. Hey girl. I didn't even notice you pop up. Have you come out of the rain? Oh, we haven't had any on-camera time for ages, have we? Oh. Yeah, the last thing you want to do is leave them in the bag getting all sweaty. Come on then. Come on. Say hello to everyone. Hello everyone. That was Rosie, that wasn't me. Hello everyone. Now, with the flowers, I'm going to get soaked on my way home too. I've got my hoodie. So now with the flowers, earlier in the season when I was harvesting and I was explaining how I select my bloom on a sunny morning when they're fully open and the dew has evaporated. Never mind dew. But I was saying how I select the bloom and then I follow the stalk down to where it joins the stem and I cut it off there, and then the stem can carry on producing. She's kneading my leg now. Yeah, so I follow it down to the stem, cut it off there, and it keeps producing. Now the reason I do that, it's quite fiddly, is firstly I want the flower to keep producing, but rather than just snipping the head off, I take it right back to the stem because it just looks tidier, prettier, nicer than having lots of bare stalks in the top of the bed. Because through the summer, I want to enjoy that flower bed as a flower bed as well as a crop. And, you know, all my neighbours are walking along that. It's right next to the main path that everybody uses. I want them to enjoy it too. Yeah, let's share the joyful bits of our garden, and people have really appreciated it. People have stopped and chatted and said, oh, they look lovely. I've seen loads of people taking photos of them. So I make that extra effort in the summer to get all those twiggy bits out. However, it gets to this time of year, I ain't bothering with that malarkey. Look, it's partly, look, there's less people around. We're getting to that time of year now when there's far less folk around, and when people are coming maybe once or twice a week rather than every day after work, every weekend. And when people do arrive, they're a bit more sort of head down, getting to their plot, get the work done, march out again, head down, get home. It's colder, it's damper. It's not that kind of weather where people are sauntering along, enjoying and stopping for a little easy breezy chat. So I don't care if it starts to look scruffy because no one else is going to care. They're all just really busy trying to get their gardens tucked up for winter. So now when I go and harvest them now, I wonder if I can I've got a metal stick. I haven't got any gaffer tape. I was going to say, open my brolly and gaffer tape it to a metal pole. Anyway, yeah, when I go to harvest them, either now or it might not be now, it might be that next little window of dry, I just yank the heads off. Just yank, 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 yank. Chuck them in another bag, get them home, pluck them. That bed has massively served its purpose. Look, it served its purpose in two ways. One, I've had a great harvest from it already. I've got tons of dried calendula. Yay, that's a whole nother year of balm making. And two, it's been a really cheerful, bright spot in the garden for both me and my friends to enjoy. Bright spot today, it ain't. Right, I'm going to sit here a bit longer, see if I might start sorting out the pigsty of the shed. It's such a mess. Yeah, do a bit of sorting and see if this eases. If it eases, we can get back out in the garden. If it doesn't, it's going to go home and get wet on the way. We'll see. Rain, rain, go away. You weren't forecast till much later today. Oh, I don't think it's letting up. Right, I'm going to get ready for my bits going home. Last 2 bags of lavender. I've got my bin bag of dried beans. And I'm just going to... I'll rest the lavender on the top in their bags. I suppose it's good to get... I'm deep in shade now, aren't I? It's good to get these last 2 bags of lavender home before this really damp weather. This is how I do things. So the granny trolley is going to be sitting out there waiting patiently. It's going to be filled up with courgettes and the seed saving cuke. And then I will kind of attach this to the handle of the granny trolley on the outside. Oh, you got it all dragged home. Is it easing a little bit? Oh, what to do? I tell you what, I don't need to have out anymore. I can put this away. Can't see, can you, because the light's behind. Suntan lotion. Suntan lotion? It's not suntan lotion, you know, sun lotion. Oh, fiddlesticks. Best laid plans and all that. How are all your sheds looking? Probably as chaotic as mine. The fact is, you know, it's when you're busy, isn't that a lovely bit of green though? A lovely bit of green. Yeah, when we're busy, when it's that sort of very limited time to be in the garden, it's that thing, isn't it? It's always prioritising, and the priority is always going to be things like watering. Thank goodness haven't had to do much of that this year. Harvesting, of course, that's the numero uno priority. But then, you know, really simple things like training and pruning the tomatoes and a bit of weeding, what have you. And so the very last thing that any of us do, I think I'm not alone in this, the very last thing any of us do is look after the inside of the shed. So things pile up. I mean, I've got my Whopper courgettes over. I mean, I've still got a couple out there. They're well and truly cured. Actually, I should bring those in now. But yeah, it's just piles and piles of stuff everywhere that, well, it's like I was saying in the tour video the other day. It's not the priority, you know, having a nice tidy shed. I prefer having a nice tidy shed, but it's not the priority. That can be a job for a winter's day, those gorgeous days we get when we have bright blue sky. It's clear, the air is crisp. Yeah, it's chilly, but if we're wrapped up warm, it's a joy to be out when it's those really bright... Oh, Are you going to venture out, Rosie? Yeah, those really bright, crisp winter days. It might be letting up. It's very fine. You probably can't hear or see it, but I can see it in the puddles on my neighbours. My neighbour's got a bit of a sort of plastic tarp covering their empty bed. Maybe we'll get another go at things. Or maybe I'll just sit and stare for a little while longer. It's good sometimes to just sit and stare and breathe. Never mind. Look, it stops for about a minute or two and I think, yay, let's get out there quick. And then it's coming down again. So you know what? Never mind. I'm going to call it quits there. That's fine though, you know. The cucumber and the beans, that was really important. And the courgettes. Soup tomorrow. The calendula can wait. And yeah, it can just wait. Disappointed, but you know what, that's how it goes sometimes. So I think what I'm going to do is, it's just starting to settle again now, clear up a little bit. I think I'm just going to leg it home, well, hobble it home. Yeah, if I go now, hopefully I won't get too soaked, but yeah, I think that's it. Gardening is over for the day. I'm just trying to think though. It's that thing, isn't it? I hate coming down here. I usually have a plan. I always have a plan, I mean. Because I've made the effort to come here, I don't want to go home before my list is finished. So I'm not going to finish the list of harvesting the dry stuff, the calendula seed. But I'm thinking, is there something else I can do in the rain that it doesn't matter about if I'm picking stuff wet? But actually, no, there's not really. We're at that time of year now where most of my harvests are in, so I think I'm just going to say I'm going to have a half day today. I'm going to clock off early. No such thing, there's plenty to do at home. So look, anyway, that's how it goes sometimes. I'm glad I've got the beans. Glad I've got the cuke for seed saving. We can get on with that now at home. So for now, from the garden, it's time to say ta-ra. Yeah, happy harvesting if you're still harvesting. Are you still harvesting? I think probably a lot of you, there will be a lot of you who've closed your gardens by now, or, you know, pretty much put them to bed. I know I was chatting with my ex-plot friend, well, friends who were plot holders here who emigrated, and they're in Norway, and we were chatting last night, and like their garden is now put to bed for the winter. So where are you at with your garden? Is it, have you put it to bed already? Obviously I'm talking to our friends in the Northern Hemisphere. I'm sorry, I don't mean to keep neglecting our friends in the Southern Hemisphere who are now just getting into summer. Oh, you lucky chucks. But yeah, are there things left in your garden to harvest? Have you still got masses of tomatoes out there? Goodness me. You may do if you're a bit further south, in sort of south of continental Europe, or deeper south in the States, for example. Or you're like me, it's all the last dregs and they're soggy. Whatever. Enjoy whatever you're up to in your gardens when you can be out there. Yeah, make the most of every single minute, because the minutes seem to be getting shorter now, don't they? I'm going on again. All right, lovelies, until the next one, look after yourselves, look after your harvests, look after your gardens if you can get out there. Cheerio.